So we're going to be reacting to some hot takes from Music Reddit, and we'll see how many of them get us to laugh, cry, want to punch the host through the wall, the whole 9 yards. And let's start off with one of my takes, all right?
All right, let's see what you found.
Los Santos Review says Eminem is not a top 10 rapper.
Oh, that's a
What do you think about that? Is there an argument to make for it? Because I know you have him in your top 10.
I have in my top 10.
But is there an argument to make for him not being in the top 10?
Oh, yes, there is. I feel as if, especially when you look at maybe catalog reasons, but influence, the rapping ability, even the first half of his catalog, the 3-album run, like
being the most acclaimed artist in terms of like selling 3 diamond albums, like he has all the accolades, and I think that in terms of lyricists, there's not many people fucking with him like that. But if you take it in terms of the decline of his discography, then maybe you could say that he's top 15 when you look at it from that point of view. But I personally think he's top 10, but it's an acceptable take, I would say.
It is an acceptable take. I think that you have to slot him in, though, to that top 15 if you were having that conversation. But, okay, I want to go on to my next one because we're going to start bleeding into this top 10. And this actually came from the Reddit Hip Hop 101. And I believe his name is F13, said, these are the top 10 rappers of all time. He did a top 50 list, but I'm going to grab his top 10, all right? I want to know what you think about it. So, 10, we have Scarface. 9, we have Biggie. 8, Tupac.
Nice.
7, Eminem. 6, Nas. 5, Black Thought. 4, Kanye. 3, Jay-Z. 2, Andre 3K. Number 1, Kendrick Lamar. So, so what are you saying about this list, man? First of all, he has your number 1 all the way at number 9. I just got to say that off the bat. Like, what do you think about Biggie, like, not being included in the top 5?
Yeah, I think Biggie is top 1, in my opinion. I think he's the greatest rapper of all time. And it's interesting to see that his list is, like, predominantly 90s, but then you have Kendrick Lamar at number 1 and you have Kanye at number 3. I mean, I think it's tough to like go about these lists just because if we're looking at just like rappers in terms of rapping ability, Kanye West wouldn't even be there. If you're looking at like hip hop artists in general, Kanye would probably be number 1. So it's like, what kind of list is it? It's hard to kind of...
What constitutes it?
Yeah,
I get you.
Like the context is always needed, but at the end of the day, I think it's a solid list. It's just, for me, I think it's maybe too soon to give Kendrick the crown yet, just because he's still not even at the end of his career. So
you got to see where he's at with it.
Yeah, but he does have, I mean, just one of the best catalogs of all time.
Oh, absolutely. So. I'm looking at this list right now, and what's interesting is that Black Thought is definitely a W right in the mid, but a lot of people would have Nas, Eminem, Tupac, and Biggie in their top 5s. Like, that's a standard top 5, and kind of broke it down
Big
a
W
bit.
for Scarface,
Oh,
by the
absolutely. Way. Super slept on. But, yeah, listen, I'm the biggest Kendrick Lamar stan, and I would put Biggie over him in my all-time list. I'm saying, you know, like, that's kind of my take on it. But all right, that was good. So far, nothing too crazy, but the Eminem one was a bit shady for me.
All right,
no pun intended. Let's keep going.
Let's go on to the next one. This one comes to us from Not Riley, who says, Kanye's rapping is the weakest part of his own music now. He's still a very talented producer and gets the best out of everyone he collaborates with, but a lot of his rapping now isn't up to scratch. So this is a very interesting take. It's spicy, bro. I like it. And to be honest with you, I kind of agree in the sense that I feel like with Kanye's latest albums, the focus hasn't really been the rapping. It's kind of been more on the message that the music is bringing about and kind of his headspace and his kind of outlook on life. But, I mean, listen to me here, right?
All right.
Even if you look at, let's say, his most lyrical song in recent times, Jesus Lord, I think that lyrically it's really solid, but there's no rhythm in his rhyming to a certain extent.
Yes, I get you.
But then you get a song like Believe What I Say, and you're like, oh, fuck, he still has that soulful flow in him, you know?
I think it's a different direction for Kanye right now. I think he's concentrating way more on his singing, actually, and his melodic performances. And to be honest with you, I think that's the weakest aspect of his craft right now. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, and it's no bash towards Kanye. Like, we're massive Kanye fans, and I think that's the reason why the records aren't hitting as much as they maybe used to, because like even on The Life of Pablo, right? Like that was the last album where I feel as if like he rapped the rap. Like that was like incredible shit. Like going to, let's say, No More Parties in LA, or even like, you know, 30 Hours from Me or St. Pablo, like those were rapping onslaughts. He doesn't have it anymore like that, you know, or at least he doesn't choose to showcase it, because even when he's laying down a verse on something like Easy, okay, it's good, but it's not Kanye West standard. And I think where he's striving the best right now, at least in my opinion, is in the production and curation side of things.
Yeah, it really is that curation.
Absolutely. Like there's nothing really that, goes more into it. But that was very interesting. What do you think about that, though? Do you think that he's gone as a rapper, or do you think
No, I think that like his own performances have maybe been sometimes the detriment to the songs and music he's making. But like you said, the rapping is still pretty good, but the singing could be improved. I feel like he's kind of off key at times. But anyways, it's a very interesting conversation. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. But let's go on to your next one.
Absolutely. Okay, so listen to this. This was posted on Change My View, which is kind of like a view platform on Reddit, subreddit. And this was posted by Purple. Rap music isn't worth listening to. He says this: the main reason I don't listen to rap, in fact hate it, is because it has no musical qualities other than beat. The lyrics are lacking emotion, relevance, and intelligence. There is no variation in tone or pitch. All instrumentation is entirely synthetic, and in almost every song they reference hoes and bitches as if there's an actual name of... Yeah, I'm not even gonna go on with the rest of that.
Just get this dude off the fucking internet, bro. Like seriously,
What is
how
that?
could you
No.
how could you define hip hop as something that is derived of any intelligence? Because when I look at hip hop and I look at the types of messages artists can bring about, because if you look at a pop song or a rock song, artists can get across as many words. They can't be as poetic, they can't be as lyrical in the sense that in a hip hop verse, there's so much that you could say. I feel like there's way more room to be intricate with the way that you're actually telling your stories. So I feel like hip hop gets a W there. Apart from that, the beats are synthetic. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, do you know how many rap albums use live instruments? Like,
do you think it's a case of ignorance?
I think it's a case of ignorance. Absolutely, bro.
Like, have you ever gone through the Roots? Like, have you ever gone through like an Outkast album? Have you ever gone through a Kanye album? Have you ever listened to Ready to Die? Have you ever listened to fucking 2001 in the back
And either
of
way,
my
bro,
vinyl
sampling
collection?
is a fucking art, man.
No,
Like,
absolutely. Come on,
you're gonna bash sampling and shit.
Listen, I rather have a fucking Kanye West sample than a generic fucking guitar solo for 2 minutes on a song. Like that's just my opinion, Like, but at the end of the day, I kind of get where people come from. I mean,
No, I think it's a horrible take.
No, I think it's a horrible take, but I think I understand where they come from because they just haven't listened to the music.
Yeah.
Like how many? There's so many beautiful records that are being put together with even orchestral pieces at this point in hip hop. I mean, look at Little Sims as Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. You go through that. You go through that fucking album, and you tell me that was a weak produced album, and that there was only about bitches and hoes. Like
no musical elements. What?
How does that make sense? You're literally listening to music. But listen, I saw that on Reddit, and I'm like, I have
That's
to
a
bring
good
it.
one.
All right, so guys, listen. Let me know if you understand where this guy's coming from. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're the ignorant ones that are not understanding this take, but let us know where we fall flat with this. But let's keep going with this.
Next one is also very interesting. It comes to us from Brooklyn Blue Notes, who says, hip-hop fans are overly obsessed with lists, rankings, and binary comparisons. I know that top 10 lists are fun to debate, but music isn't a competition. Artists have different goals and visions, and it doesn't make sense to get all bent out of shape about debates over whether this person's catalog is so much better than this other person's catalog. What's
facts.
your opinion on
That's
this?
facts, low-key. We are over-obsessed with it. Come on.
I disagree.
Why? Why do you... Okay.
Because he says music isn't a competition, but since hip-hop's inception, bro, it's been the most competitive genre. Think about battle rapping, for example.
That's true.
Think about
That's true.
music from the 80s, Run DMC, Sucker MCs. I mean, it's always been part of the culture to, have these lyrical spar battles and to have diss songs as part of the culture. Like, how could you say that, we shouldn't be comparing artists?
Sales battles.
Exactly.
You know what? Okay, so I get where you're coming from now. But I do think, though, that hip-hop fans are very analytical in the way that they approach the music. That I will say. And I love it. I mean, listen, we do it on the channel every fucking day,
Yeah.
I think that we are obsessed with it, but is it a bad thing? No.
We treat it like a sport at
No,
the end
it
of the
does,
day,
because at the end of the day, that's the conversation you want to be having. You don't want to be, talking shit about people's personal lives or any type of gossip. No, fuck that. Like, that's not music at that point. When you're talking about the music and the competitiveness about it, that's beautiful. It becomes like a sport. There's an art to it. Like, whenever you're comparing something to the other, yes, you could say that there's the killer of joy, but no. I mean, you appreciate both albums and you just say, where one strives more than the other.
Yep.
And then that's what the debate is. Like, how many times have we like gotten into a heated debate over an album? You know, like that never really like happens, let's say in other genres. Like I feel as if with maybe other channels. So I think that culture is actually good because it brings the attention to the competitive side. Now it promotes artists to like want to like, yo, I gotta go into my fucking craft because I know that the fans now are starting to read my shit and that, you know, oh, they're actually understanding what the process is. So that's where I'm at with it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, especially within a genre that has a lot of songs that have like 3 different verses from 3 different rappers, there's always that thought in the back of your head, like, oh shit, did he body me on my own shit? Like, did I really bring it in terms of bars? So that's always been part of the competitive nature of hip hop. And I feel like we're actually lacking a bit of that in terms of artists not wanting to be as competitive anymore. But it's such an important component. And I think that it's cool to be so analytical and being so comparative with the music. So it's a good take nonetheless. But tell me about your next one.
All right, this is the next one. What's the deal with modern rap? And this comes to us from a Reddit, from a subreddit called Let's Talk Music from Introvert Neptune. Shout out to you. And you said, I've never been much of a rap fan, and I don't listen to it much. However, and by the way, that's interesting, though, for this tape, because he's seeing it from an outsider sort of point of view, not like in our point of view. However, when comparing modern rap to rap from the 90s and 2000s, I enjoy older rap more than the rap music that's released nowadays. So what's up with modern rap? And what do you think happens there? Like, do you feel as if now, like, that sentiment is merited? Like, do you feel as if there's been a decline now in comparison to newer, older releases? Because I see it both ways. I feel as if the game is changing right now. It's getting revolutionized. And for kids that are younger than us, they probably saw it how we saw it maybe 10 years ago. You know, like, oh, these fucking old heads, you know, they're just talking shit. Like, you know, you're stuck in the past. But are you starting to feel that bias more or less now? Like, do you think that we should start questioning modern rap at this point?
I mean, I've definitely enjoyed the music that I was listening to in my teenage years, which included, you know, albums from the 90s, albums like Good Kid, Mad City, or like Vince Staples' you know, a Big Fish Theory, so many classic albums from the 2010s. But at the end of the day, with this new wave of music that's coming, I feel like there's a bit less of a importance being placed on lyricism, which is a vital part of hip hop, especially when you look at, you know, when it first started and first came out. So at the end of the day, I think that yes, maybe there's less of a purpose with some of the music, but at the same time, it's becoming evolved. It's kind of developing into so many other subgenres that so many more people are able to enjoy, and I like that. I like the aspect that it's opening up the doors to so many other audiences that maybe weren't tapped into hip hop before.
It's becoming much more accessible.
We have more options now in terms of shit we want to listen to. So I fuck with that.
And by the way, he actually provided a bit of context because he put a huge paragraph in here. But I wanted to read this because this is interesting. All right, he's like, when I listen to modern rap, I just don't understand. It doesn't seem to be as enjoyable of a musical experience as other genres. Let me know how you think about that. It just doesn't sound good, for lack of a better term, to me. Oftentimes, the lyrics are just downright inappropriate and unpleasant to listen to. I know the lyrics of some older rappers aren't appropriate either, but the instrumentals and music experience make up for it. So how do you feel as if that's happened? Like, do you feel as if we've maybe downgraded in production a bit and now, you know, those inappropriate lyrics are turning certain fans off? Like, do you see that as a case whatsoever?
If you listen to hip hop, like, you're all worried about derogatory fucking lyrics. I mean, it's been around for the longest time, and at the end of the day, if you don't like that type of hip hop, if you don't like the bling era type shit, then there's a whole other side of music that you can get into, like soul hip hop and so many other styles within the genre that you can appreciate. Because to generalize rap and say that it's all about using, you know, curse words and there's no real, you know, respect for, you know, whatever, I mean, I don't think that's a good take to have. But again, from an outsider's point of view, I can get why you would think that most hip hop kind of leans towards that. But one last take I want to get through is this, and it comes to us from Evia World, who says, Young Thug's flow is annoying as hell, and he has one of the worst voices in hip hop. I'd be surprised if anyone out there that likes lyrical rap loves his music at the same time. Well, we love lyrical rap, and we love Young Thug's music at the same fucking time. So how do you feel about this take? Do you think his flow is annoying at all? Like, I don't know where this is coming out of, man.
Annoying? Okay, well.
And one of the worst voices in hip hop. One of the worst.
maybe has one of the best voices in
I know. He's a vocal fucking acrobat, bro. The guy's doing
going on?
jumping jacks with his vocals.
Bro, he's collaborating with fucking Elton John. I mean, he's keeping up with some of the greatest of all time. I don't. This is what I think happens. They see the image, they automatically hear one or two songs, and you're like, oh, okay, no, I can't go through the rest of this. No, it's not for me. And then what ends up happening is that, oh, the lyricists, the real artists within the genre, they must not fuck with this. Everyone fucks with Thug. Like, literally, he is a polarizing artist, but now it's becoming a thing of, like, you see the influence. You see the way he's driven his music. His catalog is fucking impressive. He puts time and passion into everything he does. He could sing. He could rap. He could harmonize. What the fuck can't Young Thug do? And to say that his voice is annoying, well, say that to the millions of people that fucking listen to him, because
And
I don't think that's the case.
Also, his voice has kind of become the sound of hip hop. When you look at how many clones there are of Young Thug who try to emulate his vocals,
and they all fall flat, bro. And they all do.
yeah,
None of
I
them
know.
do a good job.
I know no one can keep up to par with it.
It's because it's so fucking
I know.
hard to emulate Young Thug's sound. Like, it's so out there. And listen, I understand he is definitely not an easy artist to get into, but to say that, people who must like lyricism don't like it, I mean, I'm a fan of The Roots. I'm a fan of Eminem. I'm a fan of, Jay-Z. I love lyricism. But there's another side to hip-hop that's also accessible and that is also enjoyable, that I could understand and that I could feel and that could be a bit looser with. And that's what I think Young Thug strives in, is that loose feel to things, that sort of motion where you're bobbing your head to everything that he's rapping about. So listen, I think that's a bad take, but everyone has their opinion, guys. So in the comments, let me know what was the worst take you ended up seeing tonight on the episode. And let us know if you want us to do this again, because it's always nice discussing hot takes with people, and respect everyone that posted these opinions. Their opinions at the end of the day. And listen, we hope you guys are enjoying the content, because we're posting a bunch of cool shit on the platform right now. We're doing album reviews, we're doing tier lists, we're posting new series. So hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Plus, if you guys want to come into live album reactions with us every single week for the hottest drops of the year, access our Patreon plan. It's a huge community event that goes down every single week, where we go in with our whole community, we listen to a new album, we get your guys' gauge, and it's just a fun time listening to new music with new people. So visit the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching this, and we'll catch you in the next one.